All right. I want to keep this short as possible because it's actually a big story. And there might be a part two to this, depending on the circumstances that happen in the next few days. But Sherry and I moved to Yakima, Washington, and there was a church there. It was about built about 1909, I believe. This is about 12, 13 years ago. So I wanted to see the sanctuary because churches built back in them days, they were built as churches. I mean, they were holy of holies. Not like churches nowadays where you go into a quick trip and they're holding services. These church. So I went inside this one door, and it was funny because when I went inside, it was dark, and they had stairs going up to the right, and it reminded me of that Exorcist movie, doo 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 doo. So I go in, open up another door, it lightens up. There's the offices, and this gentleman come out and greeted me, and I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to your church. Can I see the sanctuary?" Sure. The guy is very proud of his church, so I decided I wasn't going to screw with him, or so I thought. And we go into the church, into the sanctuary area, and I don't know why I said it, but I said, "Isn't that podium supposed to be over there?" And he says, "It used to be." Now pay attention to this. It used to be. We moved it over here so the people in the second loft could see better. And I looked up, and there's a second loft uh, seating area. And so I said, "Well, the baptismal was here." He goes, "No, it used to be, but we moved it over here because that baptismal was old. It was going to cost too much to replace the piping and blah, da 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 da. So we built the baptismal here, and we just walled that one up." I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of freaking me out." So he started taking me through the church. He took me to this baby auditorium, I'm going to call it. And he said, "This is where our band practices." And I says, "Well, I thought they did community meetings here." And he looked at me weird, and he said, "They used to many, many years ago, but now we use it for an auditorium or music, whatever." Alrighty. Uh, so we go on through. Now, nothing strange happened here, but this church actually had like a big open chimney like thing. I had windows all around it, up and down. Uh, and I asked him what that was for, and what this big opening was is during hot summer months because it gets hot in Yakima. They'd open the windows to this, and it would circulate the air in the church up and out. I thought that was cool. I want to throw that in there. Uh, we started going down the hallway, and he says, "These are other offices." And I said, "I thought there were bedrooms." Don't know why I said it. I honestly don't. I mean, I hadn't even looked in the room yet. And he says, "Well, years ago, the priests and everybody used to sleep in these rooms because this was kind of like a little monastery or whatever." And I was like, and I mean, we both started freaking each other out. I mean, I'm saying stuff that's in the past that's freaking him out. He's confirming it. So I finally asked him, I go, "I got to use the bathroom." Uh, and he said, "Okay." And I started walking toward a room. And he says, "How'd you know that was the bathroom?" And I kind of laughed, and I don't know. I don't know, but it was a bathroom. Come out of the bathroom, down the hallway, down the steps. There's another auditorium out back. He said what they used it for shows and stuff. And I cannot remember for the life of me what I told him what I thought the room was. But again, he verified it. Okay. Now I want to kick back. When I was a little kid, I kept having a dream that I was in this little room, this little log cabin, and we'd have Boy Scout meetings in it. Okay, this was when I was a kid. So we go into the room, we go into the kitchen area, and I recognized the kitchen area. First thing I told him, well, there used to be a water pump right there. I remember joking around, okay? Seriously, I'm completely joking around at this point because, like, I'm telling him stuff that's happened in the past that I don't know because I've never been to this city. He pulls the table back. A big wood table is about this thick. He pulled it back. There was a water pump. I about shit myself in church. I look to my left, and there's this little room. Looks like a log cabin. Okay? I got pictures of it somewhere. I took pictures of this because I cannot believe it. It looked exactly like it was in my dreams when I was a kid. And I come out. I was shaking at this time. And I remember thinking, what is going to happen next? So he's talking about the kitchen area. Showing me the dry good areas. And we're standing on the other side of the table. And all of a sudden, the best I can explain it is I felt a lot of static electricity. Like just before there's a lightning strike, or there's lightning in the air, that. All of a sudden, I heard dishes clanking. I heard people talking. And I saw people. They're all standing around the kitchen. They were eating, they were drinking, I'd say they were having fellowship. I do remember I looked straight at this one guy. This other guy looked straight at me. All of a sudden, I found all this static again, and I was back into the kitchen. Well, the kid that was giving me the tour, I couldn't find him. So I went to leave the room into this other little room that they had, like a little dining area. And as I was starting to come into the door, he started coming this way. Okay, like that. And I found him. I'm like, where'd you go? And he's like, where'd you go? I've been looking for you. I'm like, I've been standing in the kitchen. He says, no, I was talking to you when I turned around. You weren't there anymore. So I'm like, gotta get out of here. And so to get out of this room, we had to go up the stairs, down some stairs. So we went up the stairs, walked across this little hallway, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. And there was a railing there. And I joked around and I says, well, and I had this feeling. I says, let me guess, the priest hung himself there. Guess what? Priest hung himself there. I hightailed it out of that church. That was way too much. A couple weeks later, I called to see if I could visit the church again, and the receptionist at the desk told me that I was not welcome. And I asked her why. She says, well, you're going to have to talk to the pastor. He's not in right now. So I decided not to push the matter. But I'd never been to this church before. I never saw this church before. This church is like, I think it was 2,100 miles away from where I grew up. I was born and bred in New York. I traveled all over the East Coast, Maine, all the way down to Florida. Visited all them states. Never went west, ever. I went to Chicago once because I had a friend over there. And I don't remember too much about it because we were drinking. It's the furthest west I ever been until I went to Yakima, Washington. So that is like a really freaky story. I would not want to experience it again now that I think about it, even though I did try to get back into that church at one time. Uh, but now I'm having another experience. I want to verify this first. I don't know if I believe in ghosts, don't know if I believe in spirits, don't know if I believe in time travel. I don't know if I believe in interdimensions. I'm kind of up in the air on this. And if anybody else told me the story, I would tell you that they are full of crap. But it happened to me and I experienced it. So if you don't believe it, that's fine. I really don't believe it that much either, though I experienced this. Uh, Too many things happened that day um, that proves to me that it wasn't a coincidence, or I was just making things up. Uh, this guy kept verifying everything that I said. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm having a new experience 12, 13 years later. Coronavirus. So in the next couple of days, if what happens I think is going to happen, I'm going to tell you a story because this will be my second experience. That's it. I hope you liked it. Like it, leave a comment below. If you have a question, I'll try to answer it. If you don't, I won't answer you. Y'all have a good day.